Hello, what's up, guys? Today I'm gonna go over a little bit on how I trade and give you guys like a small breakdown of YM, which is pretty much sister pair to US 30. So yeah, to give you guys a little bit of background, I am a scalper, so I'm only in the markets for a few minutes to like maximum an hour, right? And let's just get started, right? I pretty much trade on, well, I chart on the higher time frame, such as the 4 hour, right? And the reason I do so is because I understand that the higher time frame controls the smaller time frame, right? And it helps me know or shows me where I'm at in the market so I can be aware and watch out for certain things, right? But all my executions are on the smaller time frame, such as the 5 minute. And then I watch my trade pretty much on the 1 minute time frame just to be a little bit precise, and I'll explain a little bit as we go on. But let's just get started with charting our key levels, which are pretty much support and resistance levels, right? So just to give you guys a little tip, I chart based on the candlestick and the line chart, right? So I go between both, and then you guys can. I don't really use Heiken Ashi or this. So I'm just gonna unfavor real quick. So you guys can favorite it so it can show up here, right? And this is what I do. I zoom out and I see where I can, and I'm only charting like what's relevant to price, right? So like where can price potentially go from where it's at? So I'm gonna go between the candlestick and the line chart. Right here, this is a key level because we use this as some resistance here, some resistance around here. We use that as some support around here, and then we used it again as support around here, right? And this is literally yesterday. I mean, well, today, still Thursday. It's about to be Friday. And Happy New Year, guys, by the way. So that's a key level to me. That's an important level there. Then I'm gonna find another one that's relevant to price, and it's just what stands out to me. And I like levels that act as both support and resistance. Like those are the levels that really, really matter to me when it's being used as both. Here we have another one. These are resistance up here, resistance, resistance, resistance. Is there some support around here and then resistance around here? So that's obviously an important level. Let me find just one more around that area. Let me use this one here, right? We used it as some resistance, some support around here, resistance, some resistance around here, right? And then let me get this one here, which this one is pretty much where price is at now. So some support around here, we used it here again as some support. Here was a little bit of a resistance, and then we blew past it. Then some support around here, and yeah, we broke past it, right? So that's an important level, and pretty much, I mean, that's all. I'm gonna use the horizontal ray real quick, just because I don't want to use another rectangle box to like overcrowd them, but I can kind of see, around here somewhat of a key level. And yeah, that's pretty much, or actually even here, right? And that's pretty much it. But I don't get too like technical. Like obviously I do get technical about the levels, but what I'm really using them is to know where I'm really at in the markets. Like that's the whole key thing of me even charting the higher time frame, because it shows me to like pretty much watch out when I'm at a certain area, right? So now that I'm done with that, that's pretty much all I need on my chart. I don't need to chart all the way up here, because what's the likelihood or the probability of price getting there, this week? I mean, it could potentially happen, but we're all the way down here, right? So from that 4 hour, now I'm just going to jump into my execution time frame, which to me is the 5 minute, and I'm gonna show you guys a trade that I took, well, pretty much yesterday now, and a little bit on how I trade, right? So I trade New York session, and specifically I trade at 9:31, and I'm gonna explain to you guys the reasoning as to why I trade specifically at 9:31. And this is all based on my experience. I'm just sharing with you guys my experience, right? So there is structure on every single time frame. There's structure on the 5 minute, there's structure on the 15 minute, 30 minute, so on and so forth, right? Even on the 1 minute there's structure, right? It's just not as respected. So here's what I saw this morning, right? I see that we're using this sort of as like a support, and I'm just gonna make this another color real quick, just make it purple, right? I saw that we were using this as some support, and I saw that this up here technically was my resistance, right? So I always prepare for both sides of the market because I'm just reacting to whatever the market does, right? And I have certain rules that I put in place that help me, right? One of the rules that I have is that I only take a trade at 9:31. If I have a buy scenario or even a sell scenario that plays out exactly at 9:30, like I get into my buy or to my sell at, well, I have it set up, right? And if it activates at that 9:30, I'd rather not trade for the day or trade that certain setup because it goes against my rule. And another rule that I have is that I only give 2 opportunities in the markets per day, and I don't have to take the second opportunity. I'm not forced to, right? The way that I trade, guys, is very simple. I try not to overcomplicate trading because it is really complicated as it is, and I believe that we can make it complicated or we can make it simple, right? So here's the 9:25, and then here's exactly what I saw. And I'm actually going to record a video for you guys in the morning for the open of New York session, and I'll upload that for you guys as well. So for a buy scenario, or for any scenario at all, right, I always like to give it some space after the level that I draw, just to make sure that I'm not enter like prematurely into the trade, right? And I had it up here, and I use the same stop, guys. I have a 50-point stop loss, and I have 2 take profits that I use, which is 50 points from the entry, right? So that, like, 50 points from the entry would be my TP1, and then TP2 is all the way up here at 100 points, right? And depending, I'll go more in depth as the videos go on, but yeah, this is my buy scenario, right? Let's not get too sidetracked. That's my buy scenario, and my sell scenario was all the way down at 125, right? And I'm gonna explain as to why and what I like to do. So I prepare for both sides of the market, and then I see what could potentially get in the way of my trade, right, when I enter. So I just use the horizontal ray just to kind of mark it. This level around here can put, if I were to get entered into buys, this level around here could potentially get in the way of my trade. And then if I were to get entered into sells, right, based on structure and everything, this right here is what I want to see it go past, right? Which this is what I do on a regular basis, just to see, like, just to watch out, just to be aware of it, right? I don't trade scared, because before I trade, I self-reflect to see where I'm at in the week, where I'm at in the month. You know, like, I quickly do this. Like, I don't need to sit there for 30 minutes to an hour to self-reflect. It's very simple. Like, if I'm trading, for example, I'm trading tomorrow, Friday, I'm already up for the week. So going into tomorrow, in reality, whatever first setup plays out, whether it's a buy or a sell, That's the only opportunity I'm given for the day, so that I'm not playing with the week's profit. And I'll go over this a little bit more in depth later on. But these are the both scenarios that I had, right? This was my buy scenario, this was my sell scenario. And then what I do is I go down to my 1 minute and then I move this to the right. And I only enter 1 minute after the market opens, because usually the 9:30 candle, guys, from what I've noticed, and I said this a couple minutes ago, it is manipulation. Like, it would do something random and enter you into a trade, which is actually what happened today, right? Because I already know exactly what happened. But I've just tested it out for a while, and I've seen better success trading at 9:31 than entering at 9:30. Like, and I've tested this out for about 6 to 8 months, and that's the conclusion that I've came to, right? So yeah, let's just play the bar replay. And actually, look, that was the 9:30. Technically, I would have got, if I entered at 9:30, I would have got entered into a sell, and I would have been stopped out because that's my 50-point stop, right? Now, let's just keep playing. Okay, we didn't get entered into a buy. We're rejecting off this key level here on the 4 hour, right? And then we're also respecting this 5 minute level here, right? We're gonna keep playing. This is where I got entered into my sell scenario. So what I do is now I delete my buy scenario because I don't need that. Now I'm into my trade. And 50 points from my entry would be my TP1. As of now, pretty much up in profit, 38 points. That was TP1 right there. And then I retested my entry pretty much, and then I'm still back at 38, right? I let the trade play out. Give it a little bit, and I'm out right here at a TP2. Typically, I don't really hold past a TP2 unless I get like a really good entry off a higher time frame, like where I see the higher time frame is in complete confluence. I'm just trying to be in the markets for a few minutes out the day and just go about my day. Like, that is the success that I've seen. Me trying to catch more, it's feeding my ego and making me greedy, right? So this is just the way that I trade. I like to keep it very simple. So that was a success. Tomorrow I will be uploading whatever happens tomorrow as a live trade. But as you guys can see, I chart on my 4 hour just to know where I'm at, and I execute off the 5 minute, and then watch my trade pretty much in the 1 minute time frame. That's pretty much how I trade. I like to set myself up for success by having, rules in place that help me and not hurt me. And I like to keep trading very simple. I'm not one of these guys to overcomplicate it. I found something that works thanks to my mentor, which is Albert, and I've followed the game plan, tweaked it along to make it make sense for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. And I just want to share value with you guys. Hopefully this helps one of you guys. Drop a comment down below. Actually, before we even get to that, like, comments down below. Sorry guys, it's like my first video. Let me delete all this real quick, right? Let me delete this. Let me get off replay. And let me give you guys what I'm expecting for tomorrow. I'm gonna go in the 4 hour time frame, and I only use this as like a little pat on the back. But typically when you have a big drop or even a big push, right, there is something that is called retracements, right? Typically when you have a big drop, price will retrace majority of the time at least 50% of the move, which is like a very high percentage from what I've seen in the markets, in my time in the markets. if not a little bit more. And the way that you're able to see that without, because I can eyeball it, like around here would be like 50%. The way that you're able to see that or use that is using the Fibonacci retracement tool. And then here's how I do it. I do it from a relative high to the relative low, right? So this is the 50% level. So tomorrow, going into Friday, I'm not opposed to seeing buys up to the 50% or the 61.8%. However, when I am trading against the trend, I am very careful, and I either trail my stop loss or I take my profit at a TP1. I don't go for a TP2, right? But what I'm expecting is for us to, I'm only reacting to the market. Like, I don't get caught up in just one scenario. This is why I always have a buy and a sell scenario. And even when I'm opposed to taking a buy, let's say we're in a bearish market, which we pretty much are. Even when I'm opposed to taking a buy, what I do is I just set it up a little bit higher, like my entry, rather than close to where price is at when market opens. Like I play it a little bit safer, right? But tomorrow I'm expecting, well, I'm not opposed to, but I would just react to what the market does. I would want to see a retracement of this drop that we had. I would want to see it go, retrace at least to the 50%, and it could retrace up to the 61.8 or even the 78.6, and we're still, then this still will be valid. But the bigger play, it is sells. But since I'm a scalper, I'm not opposed to taking a buy scenario. I would just either trail my my trade, right? So I would step like if I'm 50 points in profit, I would set it at break even, or I would just trail it as it goes up, right? So this is what I'm expecting. Expecting, buys. I'm not married to them. I will still have a sell scenario, and we shall see tomorrow, right, how it all plays out. But I'm expecting buys, but the bigger play here is sells. But again, I just react to what the market shows me. I'm not here like married to one single thing. Thank you guys for watching the video. Please leave some feedback in the comments. Excuse me, it was my first video. In the actual description, you guys will have access to a free community, a free Discord, that I just want to provide as much value for you guys as possible. And yeah, again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, share, and leave some feedback in the comments. And join the free community, guys. It's completely free. Thank you again.